Hey, we want to say thank y'all for tapping in to Streetball the Pro. It is the ambassador, and of course, my man Ballaholic. And today we have the founder and a good friend of ours, Eric from UK. Right? Eric is more than, I mean, the founder. His family, his wife is. The story is amazing. It's a hero. I mean, it's more. Their tournament is more than just basketball. It's bigger than basketball, and so we're happy to have him on and really to talk about our, what's happening this year. It's called the last dance. Why is the last dance? What's going to happen to the WCBT, and also, of course, we got to come back. And Baller Holly got some. We got some more big hitters that we're planning on bringing with us this time. You know what I mean? So if it's the last dance, I got to take the championship home. Second place ain't good enough, so we got to take first. So Eric, I want to open it up to you so you can let our viewers know a little bit more about who you are in your organization.
Okay. Well, first off, thanks for having me on. Actually, really appreciate it, and you as well. Really appreciate you guys having me on and all the good work you're doing, because I've been following you guys for years. What you do, so thank you for this platform. First off, I started the World Club Basketball Tournament in 2015, just as a bit of a testament to, we used to have a tournament in the UK back in the 80s, 90s, called the World Invitational Club Basketball Tournament. And that's what got me into basketball initially. I was only about 10 or 11, and the tournament was played at Crystal Palace right behind my house. So I would go up there and sneak in there with my twin brother, and we would see these teams from around the world, from Athletes in Action were there from America. We had team from Russia. We had team from, Spain, Italy. But to see them all in London, and this is when basketball wasn't that big in the UK back then. And that's what really got me into basketball. And seeing guys like me playing the sport at 10, 11-year-olds, that was just, So me and my brother went off, and we got a basketball bucket, cut a hole in it, put a string up, and that was the start. The journey. And then fast forward, I set up a club called Bexhill Giants. Got three boys who played basketball, and I set up a club because there was no club locally for them to play in, called the Bexhill Giants, and we're a very successful team. Took them around Europe and what have you, when we played in tournaments and events and went on tours, and to see a lot of the guys who played in that team. Now they're grown men with their own children, and they're out doing their own thing. I've left a bit of a legacy, hopefully, where they're coaching overseas. They've got their own clubs or what have you. So that was, the start of my journey into basketball, with watching the World Invitational, and then Bexhill Giants. And then, unfortunately, I was diagnosed with kidney disease in 2006, I think it was. 2005, 2006, and I started needing a new kidney. So I sort of pegged it back a little bit on the basketball activity. Fortunately, my wife Mandy donated a kidney to me, and touch wood, everything went fine. I was very lucky to receive a kidney, but it opened my eyes to a world I didn't know. How many people are out there struggling to get a kidney, and especially from the Black community as well. We're not great at donating. I'm not sure if you've seen all the activity with Nate Robinson.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Oh yeah, his situation.
Yeah, he needs a kidney. He's put a big appeal out, and Andre Stoudemire, he had a kidney many years ago. So kidney disease affects anyone. It doesn't care who you are, how fit you are, how strong you are, whatever. It doesn't actually care. So when I recovered as such, I still have to take medication every day, but small price to pay. But I felt I had to do something to give something back. So for my love of basketball and my love of the World Invitational Club Basketball Tournament I saw years ago, I thought, I wonder if I can do an international event and try and get teams from around the world to come to the UK, which is what I did. I just put a post on Facebook and said, 2015. And I just said in 2015, does anyone want to come to the UK and play in the tournament? And fortunately, I had quite a lot of responses, and the rest is history. It's just blown grown from there.
No, I mean, I'm trying to say what year. I have to go back and look. 2000, was it 2002? Well, y'all promoted? No, 2003. We was on the marketing promotion, so it was before that time when we came up. Our first year that we end up coming up.
Yeah, I think you were 2019. I think you came the first year after COVID.
Yep.
So we had to stop for 2 years for COVID.
Yes, so we came up that year, and that was the first time. And like I said, what had drew me was I was interested. Had already been going to, I think, Japan, China, other countries, and competing and helping players get job opportunities. And so when I saw your competition, I was like, you know what? Let me go over to UK, and I want to build and see what kind of relationships I can build over there and what can happen. And on the back end, I looked and said, whoa, this is not your normal tournament either. You know what I mean? This is for a great cause. The cause, it has a reason behind it.
Yeah.
And that was the driving force to say, hey, let's go. And we went, and we competed against pros and, the local. It was just a great mixture of competition. And so, especially with the players, some of the players that I work with, Streetball to Pro, the Admirals, we're all about helping players either get a job, or those who are free agents that are pros, same thing, in between jobs. We're just a platform to help them. And so I had some young guys that was wanting to break into the pro. So I was like, I think this would be a great opportunity to really test the waters. And so that's one of the things it is that let's test the waters. Let's see, can they perform at a high level? And they're going to play, like I said, for us that year, that was a young, like 18, 19, young kid, one well-coached team that beat these grown men, which I tried to tell them, hey, just because we went undefeated day one, this is the difference between pro and vets and what's going on. You're excited. You're out on a party. And I'm like, it's not done. You know what I mean? That next day, the young boys ran circles around him, and I was like, hey, we got the second place trophy, but you got to listen. This is the difference, understanding at this level. And this is one of the things I love about your event is the relationships that we built, that we formed, the working relationships, the friendships, you know what I mean? So we've been from New York. We done been to New York. We done been to Japan and met teams on your platform. You know what I mean? So for me, I just want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to be a part and now to bring like the N1 legends, to Ballaholic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
So we're going. How I like to introduce this part to get Ballaholic talking is I had told him when I first met Ballaholic, I met him in Mexico. And I said, hey, I told him this idea. Our vision was alike. His heart was like, yes, I want to, the kids travel the world, do these things. I said, I'm going to take you to UK. We're going to do a UK tour. He's like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? It's one of those, like, I've heard this, but I'm like, just wait. And we started to talk, and, shout out to you and St. Leonard, everybody back there who really opened up rolled out the red carpet, you know what I mean, for us to come and Ballaholic. It did something to him, you know what I mean, that has been just a blessing to me. So Ballaholic, I want you to speak on that because it's your story. And of course, you and I, we're good friends. So we talk about it, but folks haven't heard how that was a major turning point for you.
It was. No, like Coach said, at first, I'll just skip past what I've been through, but Coach, he just had a vision that it was just, he wanted to help guys and, guys that wanted to play, guys that wanted to get on, but he already had been doing the Streetball Pro Tour already. So the fact that I was already out there playing, trying to get on with, anybody, I was just trying to play with someone. It didn't matter. It's crazy how you met. He came and was like, hey man, I didn't know this was you. Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm trying to do. I got a vision, you know what I mean? And then he was like, let me know if you're okay with it. So I had to do my homework on Coach. And I was just like, man, he got the same vision that I have. So we talked. we talked, and within 24 hours, I'm already signing a jersey, and that was pretty much my contract with him. And then at that point, we just talked, and then he had let me know. I swear, it didn't even take him 24 hours for him to say, "Yo, it's going to change for you." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "We don't even know each other. How you telling me it's going to change for me?" Like, I didn't heard it all. He's like, "It's going to change. So it's going to happen fast, man." I'm just like, "All right." So 3 weeks later, within them 3 weeks, we talking, and then he's like, "Yo, we're going to go to UK. It's a tournament coming up. We're going to the UK." I'm just like, "Nah, we're not going. We're not. I'm like, he gonna tell me at the last minute that we're not going. He had mentioned you, Eric, and everything that you were doing. I was like, "Nah, we're not gonna go." And he calls me and goes, "Yo, I'm gonna send you your flight information. I need you." I'm like, so I'll send it to him, and then we're in London. And the whole time I'm on the plane, I'm just like, I can't believe I'm flying to London. Like, I'm really finna go play. Like, I was just so excited, man. And the level of excitement for me was just up. I couldn't even sleep on a plane. I was just up. And once we got there, I started recording. Like, as soon as I got off the plane, I was just recording stuff I never do, Eric. Like, cause I'm not a social media person that much, you know what I mean? So I'm just recording, and like, I was just so happy. But I think what made me even more excited is how you had the whole setup for all of the teams being introduced when we came in. You know what I mean? You had all the teams wait outside. Yeah, every country come in, whether they had a flag or that's when I knew. I was like, okay, this is really legit. I was like, this is legit, man. I said, how did we came in and just the play, and it was just, even like Coach said, the relationships, because after that, a lot of people started, it was just like, yo, you Ballaholic from N1. And I didn't even know that people would recognize me out there. You know what I mean? So it was like, guys from other teams, some of the vendors that you had, the t-shirt vendors, I was shocked, man. And I was so happy. And at that point for me, I was willing to just like, now Coach had brought me outside of my shell. Like, I was just so like under a dark, you know what I mean? Dark cover. He brought me out. Yeah, around all of these different people and the recognition, and he just brought me out. And I was even more excited now. Now I was willing to like, yo, now I'm ready. I'm getting back to the old Ballaholic. So, you know what I mean? I'm ready to work with kids. I'm ready to talk to people. I'm ready to do interviews, and all that. With all that, I play better basketball with all that being said. And even just, we went to the boot cage, and there was a parent, and she drove maybe, I think, 2 hours down to meet me. I guess they'd had missed us from the tournament. So she said they
know that.
Yeah. They drove down to the boot cage to meet me. And I was just, that was I got emotional a little bit, because that never happened. I had, people out here who recognized me, but someone to drive and actually meet me was totally different. And that woke me up, man. That changed. It wasn't even about basketball. It was just more about like, yo, it's the love, man. Just makes me want to give back even more. You know what I mean? So,
you're right. And that's as Ashley mentioned earlier, that the tournament, it's about basketball, but it's more than basketball. I've always sort of tried to make it a platform for building relationships, for building friendships. I wouldn't have known Ashley and yourself and you guys at Jarek and Nicole from New York Court Kings. It's a bit of a confession. Years ago, when I said, I want to do this tournament, and I put it on Facebook, I went, no one's going to answer that. Left it. No one's going to answer that. That's nonsense, That was when social media was quite nice anyway, back in the day. And it was like, yeah, we'll come. I was like, oh, damn, what do I do now? I was only going, oh, damn, I've got to do something, So that's my confession. I didn't think it was going to take off, and I didn't think we'd be doing it 8 years later, with teams from, like you say, we've had Japan, Lithuania, Poland. It's just blowing up, and it's again, it's more than basketball. It's forgetting guys who are local league teams to professionals. We had guys who played in the NBA, etc. National teams, to get everybody in one melting pot and just have fun. And then build those relationships and build those memories. It's that's the main objective, and that's my way of going through what I did. We've all had our personal journeys and what have you, but going through what I did, and my wife did as well. I'm lucky to be here. So it's just my way of saying, yeah, this is my gift. You know, this is what I've been doing. This is my gift to everybody else to move on. Because if man didn't give me the kidney, I couldn't do what I'm doing, and I wouldn't have met you. You know, you fantastic guys, and you know, you wouldn't have met each other. So it's a knock-on effect. You know, it's so that's why I do it. That's why I do it, and I love it. Every year I'm saying every year on the Monday when it's time, I'm not doing that again. then on the Tuesday, it's like, yeah, well, come on. So, yeah, again, but you know, I can only thank you guys for coming down, because it means a lot for people to put their faith in me, to travel, you know, thousands of miles, and put their faith in someone, and that means a hell of a lot. So I can't thank you guys enough.
No, you know what? I never thought of it that way. You know what I mean? You know, I just jump on the plane, but to actually be like, hey, I'm trusting this person, and that is true. I'm going to a country, a place I don't know where, and I'm hoping that, you know, the tournament's going to happen. I'm sending you money. It's a lot of trust factor, and you build, you know, and that's another thing. Like I said before I came, I'm one of those too, because I know there's a lot of scams and stuff. So I spent like a year just watching. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see what's going on. Oh, that looks like this. Oh, now they're back again. Okay. Now let me see. Let me test the waters before I really put it out there. You know, one of the things that I do as well is, you know, with our platform is we go to different countries or we go to different tryouts and we find, is it really legit? You know? And if it's legit, then we're going to put it on, and then we take our people and we point people there. If it's not legit, then, you know, we just take that hit and we're going to tell, hey, that may not be the case. And so that was one of the things, you know, how I do giving a hit for those who are wanting to learn the game. This is part of the process, you know. And so I went out, took a group out there, and, you know, like I said, I knew the kind of players that I was trying to work with and what kind of tournament that I sort of gauged that it was, you know what I mean? And because playing in China or even Japan, in certain different countries, there's different leagues and there's different job opportunities, you know. So Japan, I got the B League connections. Over in China, was playing CBA, Super League Russia. I can't just bring anybody to play Russia, you know what I mean? So it's also gauging and saying, okay, where you at? And that was one of the beauties. And you made sure everything was good. You know, that was, and this is for everybody who's listening. This was way before Ballaholic. You know what I mean? So it's not a thing that, okay, the red carpet is because Ballaholic. No. You know what I mean? This is that made me confident to say, Ballaholic, I'm about to take you over here. You know what I mean? And I knew that it was a great, the cause was great, the host was great, and, you know, it was a nice intro for us to come back, and then now to come back around, you know, this time, and he has a gang of friends, because that was my thing, right? I knew Ballaholic, or, you know, I knew him as far as hooping, this and that, and then you start working with that person. We built a friendship, a relationship, because it's a trust factor. One thing about, you know, Streetball world, all worlds, definitely Streetball, they ain't trusted any and everybody, and I understand. You know what I mean? Right. Especially at that main level and where they at. And so for us to build that relationship, and then Armistice came around. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, farm, you know what I mean? And we did it. And I'm like, yo, I'm farm, you know what I mean? And we're talking, and I have these relationships, and, you know, I'm crazy. Let me reach out to Baby Shaq. And he responded. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. You know, and this is not like all saying, hey, let me do this, let me do that. It's just us building relationships, and everybody seeing it's genuine and it's real. And so those who are around, they're saying, okay, wait a minute. And he is really going places. He's really smiling again. You know, these things are legit. And part of it is coming to UK. So we're excited to now, you know, we're in the talks for those. We're giving y'all some little tips, or not tips, but extras out here. There's schools. We're gonna go into more than one school. So schools, be ready. Y'all will get to see these guys. So that's what I'm saying. Eric does so much more for the community and as a whole than just the basketball, like you said, the relationships. And that's why we're excited. And we're, especially this with him and the guys that we're talking about bringing with him, it's going to be perfect for the Last Dance. And so I had to ask, and everybody else want to know, why the Last Dance? What's going on?
I think we've gone as far as we can in the concept how it is now, a weekend tournament. Again, so I appreciate you guys coming over, but I think it's a bit too short. So it'd be good to make it one bigger and to move to different locations. So the plan is in this particular format, it's the last dance of the weekend event in Sussex, East Sussex, but probably have it in Sussex still, but to move around and do things with all the schools. I'm thinking of doing an event at the Blue Cage. I've got to speak to a couple of people to do probably a 3-on-3 event as well for next year, because 3-on-3 in the UK and around the world is really big now. Yes. So possibly doing a WCBT 3-on-3 event.
Okay.
It's blown up over it. This is the first time I've mentioned this anyway, so not a lot of people know this. So it's moving to different locations, doing 3-on-3, and also doing possibly youth tournaments. I get lots of requests from girls and young players who want to do that as well. I did that, as I mentioned earlier on, when I was had my under-18 team. I took them out to Holland and to Spain and what have you. So I'd like to do that as well, because at the moment, for people who are listening who don't really know, it's just a men's tournament, a senior men's tournament. But I'd like to expand that and possibly do, girls 1 week, youngsters 1 week, a 3-on-3. So, and then a bigger festival, basically a festival of basketball. And touching on your point, Ashley, about going into the schools, what we're doing, that's going to be, I think we're going to call that a Sussex Basketball Festival, where we are going to be going around to the schools. I think we've got, between yourselves and New York Court Kings, I think there's about 7. Yeah, New York Court Kings and Nicole and Jarek. There's about 7 or 8 schools. Hopefully, we're going to try and get around and have events there as well. So that's going to be really, really good, because that's going to widen the scope and get more eyes on us. And hopefully, we can then move that to next year. People will start contacting us and saying, we want one in Manchester, or we want one in Birmingham, or we want one in, wherever. Then we can go, yeah. And it won't be me. I can just say, actually, Ballaholic, you guys, there you go. That's what I'd like to do. Sit back and relax. So
right.
I'll pass all the work to you guys. So that's sort of why it's the last dance, the last sort of dance in this format. I was thinking of, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking of calling it to stopping it this year, because I've had, obviously I mentioned the kidney problems, but I had something else happen last year as well, and I wanted to give my body a rest. And for a couple of years but so many people have contacted me and said, look, Eric, you can't stop. Please keep going on and what have you. And so, I had a little discussion with my wife, and she's, without her help, I've got to say, without her help and her support, I couldn't do any of this lot. And she's really good. She, you carry on, but get more help to a degree. But so it's the last dance in this particular format. But going forward, 3v3, girls, boys, different locations, and more people getting involved who want to take that way. Also international as well, because as I mentioned, we haven't mentioned actually that you hosted a couple of events, WCBTs in Washington, and Nicole in New York is going to be looking to do one overseas next year, in New York next year. We hosted one last year in Lanzarote, and we'll be looking to do one in the future in Barcelona as well, with the North Atlantic Basketball Academy. So again, it's not just going to be in the UK, it's going to be international as well.
That's gonna be more talent, man. It's gonna be more business, more relationships, more.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
This is so, Eric. So we was laughing because Ballaholic know whenever you see this, because I need this to read. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure I can read that. Where's my camera? I can read the small print, and then the pen, right? Because we signing contracts, and I've been telling people since we started, it was contract signing, signing season, and for us now, we're at that point. We're signing contract, so we would love to sign a deal or work out this deal that you have, and help support. So we would be that when you start, because we're going to do we're calling it right now, and the names are probably going to change, of course, but this one here, we're calling it the Streetball Legends Tour. So
certainly,
as we're expanding, and you need all these other schools, because that's what our whole vision was, to go out, teach with schools, work with kids, being able to do football and pro basketball. So that means 3-on-3 park runs and on the hardwood. And so I think what you're doing and our vision and the resources that we have and that you need, we can help you take what your vision in UK and really help expand it, right? Because
that sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
New York, that's our partners. You know what I mean? Court Kings, Jared, Nicole, they're a part of the Streetball the Pro family.
Thailand as well. You're Thailand, yeah.
Yep, in Thailand. So all of that is all of us. You know what I mean? We're all connected. And I think it's only smart that we help you and give you those resources you need. And we know that we are we are pretty major with the lineup that I have. Everybody's going to want to see them. You know what I mean? And they're influencers, and they're building up they're raising up the next, we call them young bulls, where we got Nate the Great is one of Ballaholic young bulls that he's raising up. Baby Shaq got somebody on the tour with it. So we all have something that we're building a culture, and there's so many other streetball undergrounders that I'm getting to meet. You know what I mean? So as you're getting to expand and they want opportunities. That's one thing that I'm learning. Street ballers don't have as many opportunities. You know what I mean? I've been on the other side. You know what I mean? I've been on this side of the overseas. Let me get, the person who normally just on what Ballaholic has been doing, ABA, tryouts, this and that. I've been on that side. I wasn't introduced until me and Hezzy met 2019. I'm about to say right before the pandemic. Shout out to my people in Louisiana. We was doing money ball tournaments, and I was the celebrity in the sense that was coming in to help get jobs. And the young guy I was working with was bringing in the influencers. And so he brought in Hezzy and Chris Staples, and he told me, hey, and I said, you know what? Put them on my team. This is what I do, Streetball the Pro. You know what I mean? This is my help. I take players. I think this would be a great concept. And so that's, for those who ever see this, let me see if I can get it out. That one.
You don't kill yourself.
I know, right?
Yeah,
that's the Hezzy one that I started with. And of course,
excellent.
The ones that are next, that's where I started with the idea. And then it came to fruition into me and Ballaholic met. And that's where I was like, you know what I mean? This is, hey, Ballaholic. And he was like, yo, this sounds just like this. So this is where whenever you see these, now y'all begin to understand why there's certain jerseys and things that may be in the background hung up and they got signatures. They was a part of my journey on figuring out how the Streetball the Pro was going to go, right?
Yeah.
So then this is why I was excited, because then we signed Farm. You know what I mean? This is like a contract, if you want to say. We signed Farm to run with us. And then from there, it's like, then Baby Shaq and Bone Collector, all of them show love. They got love for one another. They see the vision. And so they're like, yo, let's jump on this tour and let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm tripping because I never saw it. I wanted to do it. I met Hezzy, but like I said, the pandemic happened, life happened, and then it's like, okay, how am I going to get this? What is this going to look like? Especially when I feel like God is sharing me, I'm going to be we would say the next and one. When you understand who and one, I'm like, to be the next and one, I got to have an and one player. I can't just call myself and one.
Yeah.
That's you can't do that. And so meeting Ballaholic, and then the domino effect, where now there is love in the Streetball family, and they're starting to see what I've been doing for the last decade. You know what I mean? Now I'm saying, hey, I want to give this to you all. And now they're able to hear what Ballaholic is the pioneer of and helping me. That's what we teamed up to do. I said, man, watch. God's going to use you to really open up the door for a lot of street ballers. You know what I mean? And so that's what he's doing, because we're talking now. There's a lot of folks that are following us, especially street ball world. They're like, yo, we actually have an opportunity to go to UK, play pro basketball, play in this 3-on-3 tournament. You know, we have youth programs, and that what's make us different is I'm one of the only programs that take youth international and adults international and vice versa, international tournament. So you're giving us opportunities that a lot of our communities don't have, especially like I said, the street ball community. Now this is something that is tangible and that they can be a part of, and it's going to really be exciting because they're a major part of the history of basketball and the culture. You know, when you especially when you say and ones, this is the original, and then you branch down to everybody else and everybody, you know, who's a part of the street ball. That was their representatives, you know what I mean, of their world was the and one guys, you know what I mean? And so now look at it and they're saying, hey, we're willing to come out. Those who are still hooping like Ballaholic, and those who may not still hoop, they're still willing to come out and show love. You know what I mean?
And that's why. So sorry to interrupt, Ashley. And that's why. So I wanted to change the WCBT UK a little bit and expand it, because it's a bit, because a lot of people aren't getting the opportunity to see people like Ballaholic outside of Sussex to a degree. So it's expanding that network and then say moving it to different locations across the UK and across Europe. You know, as I said, because we had the event in Lanzarote last year. You know, and down in Washington a couple of years ago, and you know, I had a chat with the guy who wants to do one in Barcelona this year. It won't be this year. We'll probably do it next year. So it's expanding that network and using our resources. You know, we're three sort of, you know, intelligent guys to as opposed to battling with each other and fighting and trying to use egos. It's working together to one common goal. So that sounds good to me. I'm on board.
Cool. You see, at Ballaholic, what I tell you, when you see that, I'm making moves now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make moves, and I'm connecting. That call me the connector as well, right? So I'm connecting the pipeline, making sure that we all eat. That's the motto. We all eat.
Right. And I love it too, because even besides basketball, even in being in London, just seeing Big Ben and walking and my first time, like I told Coach this, Eric, every time I went to a restaurant, I ate breakfast, I would see Eggs Benedict. And I was like, I never, what's Eggs Benedict? I would always like, you know, just discussing. But I was like, you know what? Let me just try it. I tried it. And ever since then, for breakfast now, I eat Eggs Benedict. I eat it. And that's what I'm saying. And that's the whole point of me just being in London. Everything is besides basketball. That has a lot to do with it.
It is. And it also gives a lot of the guys who come over, you know, some guys have gone off internationally, but some guys have come over, and I had one guy who played, he was going to go and play overseas, and he realized when he was in England for those 4 or 5 days that he was homesick and he couldn't go and play in the contract. So it's things like that. He did he discovered something in himself. Other people have that as well, but it gives you that discovery. So you know, it's more than getting a contract. It's more than, you know, it's finding out yourself. So that's what opportunity.
And that definitely, I think, for any person who's like, it's gonna, whatever else you love doing is gonna make you feel better about whatever else you do, what else you love to do. Something like that can happen, man. Definitely.
Well, I mean, and that's another reason, like I love about, we was talking about the tours, right? So we got to understand what tours are for. One of the things they are for is to test the waters.
Yeah.
Can I really live? Because like we know, we travel quite a bit, so we know different countries and things like that, and what you have to be accustomed to, used to. It's a mindset, and so you got some people who's new and they're so hungry. I want to go, and you go, and that reality, like you said, oh man, I'm homesick. Oh wait a minute, I can't eat this. Oh, I gotta adjust to that. Oh wait a minute, you know what I mean? And now you can say before signing that contract, because that's that other part. I don't want to sign a contract and then go home. You know how hard it is for you to get back. You know what I mean? That's that other.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you get sent home, it's better a contract in and go instead of you leaving, or especially it's not an emergency or something like that, or getting sent home. So these are little extras that say, okay, how can I see if this really, can I play at this level? Can I want to live like this? You know what I mean? So that was a great point, and I think that's something that's good for tours for new people.
Yeah, it is. I've seen so many horror stories, but where you would see a post on Facebook or whatever, and it'll say, $600 out in Serbia, and you've got these guys going, yeah, I want that, and they go and they land in Serbia, and they find that they're sort of sharing a room with 4 other guys, and they don't know the language. They don't like the food, and they've got to get themselves to training. The $600 or whatever they're going to get, that is going to food, traveling, washing, electric, and so to come out and do a tournament like mine it gives them a bit of it's an eye opener. It's an eye opener. And what you do is taking the guys around.
Right, and both of you guys are right though. So everybody want to come overseas, and as soon as they get overseas, it's completely different. It's so different. From playing, even what you said, Eric, just buying stuff, food, and they don't have the same stuff that they have in other countries. They have in America or wherever else you came from. It's different now. Now they speak a different language. Now you can't walk down that street. You have to walk. You have to catch a cab and go 3 miles to go to the store, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So, it's definitely an eye opener, man. When you playing overseas, but what you got going on is good because, like you said, it gives them an idea what it's like to be overseas. Just the beginning part of it, you know what I mean? Because
yes, education,
right?
Yes, sir. So we got. So what do we have any changes this year? Right. So
this yes.
Okay.
It's not many. It's not what I'm planning to do is last 2 years or 3 years we had 10 teams. We're reducing it to 8 teams this year. So we're going to make the game slightly longer. Matches slightly longer, and we can fit the whole schedule in. And if we overrun, because last year you guys know it was the hottest day in England, ever.
Oh my
I've never known
God!
that hot in England in my life. And I wasn't playing. I was just sitting there watching you guys play, and I was like,
right.
So the game. I could see guys were getting dehydrated and were flaking a little bit because I think it was 3 games on day one, wasn't it? Yeah, 3 or 4.
3. It was 3. Yeah,
3 on day one, and that's a lot of games. And in that heat, I was like, no. So reducing the teams. Okay. When I first started years ago, it was 8 teams, and then we had the demand was so much that I did 10 teams, and which is a shame. I would like to do 10 teams, but to make it fair on the players and the referees, and to make sure we run on time and we don't overrun. 8 teams max. It's going to be just the teams will have longer matches, and you have a bit of a break in between. You can relax and what have you, as opposed to bang game. It's a bit like an AAU event, wasn't it? Bang game. So that's the only change we're going to have this year. We're still going to have the same vendors. We have some vendors, some more vendors there. I'm going to have some more media there as well to get some bigger media there. I'm hoping to get. Planning to get do a bit of a documentary, behind the scenes documentary, because what you guys did with the Tits Up Admirals one, the ones for London Hoops, that was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
It's that 3-minute little mini movie. It was really, really good. But I would like to try and do a bit of background with the whole WCBT, interview you guys, have a bit of background to your story. So it's a bit of a longer sort of movie type of thing. That'd be quite good.
So with the playing format, were 2 teams be playing at the same time, or will we go the long way?
It'll be 2 teams again. It'll be 2 teams playing again, and then on the Sunday the same format. Yeah, so it's the same format, but just less matches on the day, but they will be longer. Yeah.
Okay.
It give y'all a little bit more time, Paul, to get it in. You know what I mean? And that.
Yeah.
So that's that other part that make it fun, where we say, okay, now we can really go, because all I need is that 2 more minutes, and we would have won. You know what I mean? You can't say that.
Oh yeah. You're coming
So,
back. Yeah,
so
you're coming back.
you know,
And I think you have an injury in the
yeah,
semi-final.
we
Or just
did.
something.
We had an
Yeah,
injury. That
yeah,
was our thing. Our big man had an injury right at the end, and we was like,
yeah.
ah, that
See,
was
and that's the thing which I noticed as well, because it was so hot and guys were getting dehydrated, and that leads to injuries. And the busiest person there was my physio team. Every time I went out, there was somebody lying on that table. I was like, "Dang." So yeah, so it's yeah. I just want to make it a bit more fair on the
yeah.
players, that they don't have too much demand on their bodies, really.
Right. Right. No, it was about 100 and something out there, about 100, 107. I don't know. It was hot.
It
It
Yeah.
was.
was hot.
Thank God we had Boy Scout to give y'all that little package because we
Exactly. Oh my God.
said,
We'll do,
man.
yeah, we'll do something. But yeah, no, yeah. So that's the only change we've got. Yeah, we're just trying to reduce it to 8 teams, which is it's going to be. We've had such a demand again, because what we tend to find, all the teams that have done it previously want to come back because they've experienced it, they know what it's about. So whenever I put the announcement out, they'll go, "Yep, we're coming back again." But I'd like to change. I'm changing the teams up, and I'm going to start have to pick a few and not let a few down, but but yeah, I like to get a mix of European teams and USA teams. I'd like to get that mix of the international flavour, and that's why when I do the groups as well, I always make sure that there's a European team in the group, a USA team, and like we had Japan last year, Lithuania, because I don't want like 4 UK teams in a group and 4 USA teams, because that defeats the object.
Right.
You guys want to play against
Yeah.
national teams, so I always make sure there is that mix of European and what I've always wanted to do, whether time suffices, is to do at the end, after the final, possibly a USA versus the rest of the world exhibition.
I like it.
I'm thinking. I've toyed with that. We years and years ago, when I took the team to Holland, we did that. We played in a tournament, and they did USA versus Europe at the end. USA versus European All Stars type thing, and that was fantastic. So I'm thinking of doing that. I would like to do that.
Yeah, that sounds really good. You get even more, like a lot of people be involved in that. You might have to do a tryout for that or something.
Well,
Yeah.
I was about to say, oh my bad. I was that would be a perfect stage for the street ballers. You know what I mean? The big stage, because you got to think when you have the legends and one, they were the big huge stage. So imagine when they come and we say, okay, we're gonna fill the gym up. We're gonna need a bigger gym, and if you make it a national, international. Now you got the best of the best. Now we have a real big stage. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That could be our big stage that we can make it all happen. So I love that idea. We can do that on the big stage. And it's good too. I'm going to throw that out there. Hey, Bo, we got to talk early since New York want to talk. All they know is early, right? So New York going to better, be on the other side. And we're going to be waiting for y'all. Trust me. You know what I mean? We will be in the championship, New York. They talking about they're going to spank us. So we are looking forward to who's ever on our side of the bracket. We told Jarek when we was in Japan. I already told Jarek, y'all, it's gonna be a problem, okay? Y'all gonna have a problem. We're not worried about what y'all talking about. You guys are gonna have a problem when y'all come see us, all right? So
Nicole's already sort of said we're coming back for the chip every year. Everybody's coming back for the chip. And I think Whitstable said that they want to try and come back for the chip as well. And it's good. It's good. It's all good.
That team. Hey, that team who won it, they're not winning it. If we see them again, they will. Yeah,
this time.
We're stopping them.
I'm stepping back. I'm keeping out of this. You guys carry on. I'm neutral. I'm Switzerland.
We'll make sure we have enough players. We ain't getting hurt. If somebody get hurt, we still got to back up. So this time, the first time we was, like I said, doing our little tryout, but now we got our roster set and so I got some high flyers, some sides. So he got some backups this time. So we're gonna make sure that we come in with the Legends Tour, and it be something that the kids, the community, that's our whole aim, is to build with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's the biggest part, to really support.
It's, it's because when I saw you guys in Japan, and it's the kids. I'm looking at the kids, and I think I saw you in the shop, Carlo, with the kids and coming through Ballaholic t-shirts.
Right, yeah.
The memories, those memories, you cannot take those memories away from people, and that's why I say bigger than basketball. It's kids, and when you were in the UK, you guys, the kids love that. The kids, the kids. I when I saw that, as I said, I snuck into Crystal Palace, and I can get near those players. But these, you guys are there on their doorstep, and they don't forget that. They don't forget that. All the kids are looking forward to coming back. And so, with you guys going around doing a tour around the schools again, with more schools getting involved, that's it's gonna blow up. So,
right.
Nicole, let me see. Peter wants to join the live. Oh, Nicole, let me see. He's trying to join.
She wanted to join the live? Oh my gosh.
Jared want to join the live, but we're not.
Hey, get Jared going here. Let's get Jared going here.
The thing is, so I would love to have you on here. The way it's set up is we can stream live on Instagram, but we can't communicate and bring them on. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that means he watching it, Jared. Yeah, I hope he watching, Jared. I hope he watching. I hope he watching.
We talking big noise, Jared. I'm telling you. You know what I mean?
You was my teammate, but now we're not teammates right now. We're not teammates right now, Jared.
This is like, Eric, this is the relationship for those who's watching who haven't been to his event. This was all built from his event. You know what I mean? The relationship that we have, like you said, we just met Jay at the last tournament, and we started to talk and like-minded and said, hey, let's work together. You know what I mean? And let me see. He said he's working out. Oh, just for Rondo.
Let's go.
So he's working out just for you, Rondo. So he's coming at you, my man. That's the word. I got the word right here.
Let's go. Okay, Nicole. All right.
So, like I said, this is the relationship that we have, and it's also, like I said, personal and business. Like they own a team in New York.
Yeah,
we have a team in Thailand, and we help support that team as well. And so that was all built on us going to UK, playing, and then we just started talking. Then we said, hey, let's go to the Blue Cage together. You know what I mean? This is two groups that didn't even know each other. And we traveled to London together, what I mean? And built relationships with, shout out to London Hoops, they'll be here next Sunday. You know what I mean? We built relationships with them, and just was like, hey, like you said, man, next time we need something bigger. And so you was already thinking of that. That's what I'm like, and you're already connected. I said, this is perfect, because this is, you all area. We just want to come and support, and it makes everybody's job easier. And so all of this was built from a tournament that saved his life. You know what I mean? Listen to that. You know what I mean?
And that's a good point, actually. I didn't even, because you're right there, actually. I should have mentioned that earlier. Cause when you say save my life, it's not no. When I had the kidney transplant, I don't want to harbor too much on about it, but it was a very dark time. And could you think, you think your mortality's gone, and you're worried about things. You think the kidney's going to pack up within 6 weeks. So to have the tournament, to be able to organize a tournament, that took my mind off a lot of things. I was able to focus on something else. So, I know there's a big thing about mentality, and I'm talking about mental health, but it did help my mental health, and it has done over the last, how many other years, 8, 9 years we've been doing it. So that is a good point. It does sound, a bit over the top, it saved my life, but it did to a degree. So it gave me something to focus on. And again, to have as I mentioned before, to have the people put faith in you, that is And
Yeah.
trust me, that is big. That is really,
There you
really
go.
big.
Oh,
So
man.
that to me, that gave me a bit of a boost to my physical health and my mental health as well. So that was really, really great.
You got a strong spirit, Eric. You got a strong spirit, my man.
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, that's all we can do. We can, I'm just grateful. Every day I wake up is a good day. That's the way I see it now. Things that I used to worry about back in the day.
Yeah.
So I look back and I think, was I worried about that? Was I worried about, my football team losing? No, I'm not worried. Those sort of things sort of put to the back of your mind now, and I'm more focused on my family and everything else, and grandkids and the tournament and building friendships. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So yeah, it's more than basketball, and seeing how you guys are interacting. Seeing you guys laughing with Jarek and having that fun, and that
Right.
that is the legacy of the kidney transplant.
Yep.
Going on now, because I, not to over exaggerate, I might not have been here now if I didn't have the kidney transplant, and then the tournament wouldn't have been built, and then you guys would have met, etc., etc., etc. So things happen for a reason. So yeah, more than basketball.
Right. And my bad, coach. And it's crazy because like the time frame that we met, like how we knew Jared, even us being in Japan just for those certain days, it felt like I've known him for years because we just had a lot in common. We're just talking. We went out to eat ramen. It was just a lot of different stuff that, we had just a lot of things in common we talked about, you know what I mean? Not just basketball, but life and business, you know what I mean? So I think that's where I really became cool with Jared, and because we got other guys on the team like that too, but they were brand new to it. And a lot of them were used to some of the ways that they were used to back in the States, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about Nate. He's our young guy, and he was just like a little puppy, just all over the place. I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to do that. Man, let's do this. I want to go here. I want to go there. I need that. I need this. Like, no, not right now. You're in the wrong place, the wrong time. Let's wait for that. And this is what you need to get used to while you're overseas if you're trying to go overseas, Nate. So he's like, oh, okay. All right, I get it. Oh, that's not that. That's not what that is. Like, no, Nate, no, it's not. You're in another country. It's not like that out here. So when you should build relationships, and then other people who've never seen stuff like that, it leads by example. You know what I mean? And that's when you're surrounded by good people. Especially the ones who don't give you distractions too. You know what I mean? When you guys are on the same page, there's nothing else that's going to block that whole friendship, that road to success, or that road to whatever the road you're trying to get to. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, and that's once again. So this is great, like us doing our little interviews and things like that, the podcast, because people get to understand the reasoning or the mission behind what we do, right? So I think that's the biggest part of saying that. Like I tell everybody, it's more than a motto. We all eat is more than a motto. It's a way of life for us. This is really, and Alcoholic can attest, like we have each other. And you got to think, when you go to other countries, that's all you have.
Right.
The team. You know what I mean? And so if you begin to really think like that, and like you said, that's what's humbling. And for me is I've been blessed to travel so many different countries with so many different people, and they trusted me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in situations where anything can happen, and people just try to get money and do things like that. And so what you were saying about basketball being a way of like saving your life. If you think about, like, when I met Ballaholic, he was a dark time. You know what I mean? There's times I remember when I used basketball, you know what I mean? That was sort of like that outlet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the way he used it. And so it's the same thing where it's saying, man, through these circumstances, I use the ball to allow us to touch other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be that platform. And so that's what Streetball the Pro at the end of the day is saying, that we are that platform. We are, if you want to say, overcomers. We're just examples. We want to encourage. You know what I mean? It's one of those, look at us, where we came from. Like I said, these guys, that's why it's humbling to me to work with the legends, where I'm like, we heard their stories. Only they know all the ins and outs, what really happened. We
Yeah.
know what they put out on Netflix, but at the end of the day, they were the greatest thing that happened, and they should
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
going. You know what I mean? And so it wasn't on them. You know what I mean? So it's one of those that I'm like, but now I get to work with them, and you know, it's almost like I get to sort of leave my little mark and say, here's a platform, y'all just here, do your thing, and I just want to just see you just keep building it and doing it. And so that's what's humbling to me to be a part of history in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With these guys and say, hey, how do we fix it and what does it look like now? You know what I mean? And to start with relationships like this.
Yeah. No, I think what would going back to what we were saying earlier on, I think it'd be a really good idea, probably digressing slightly, to with you guys coming to the UK and going to the schools, and with Nicole and the New York Hawkins, etc., is to do, the Streetball to Pro UK tour, and it's probably in association with World Club Basketball Tournament, whichever. I'm not too fussed on that aspect, but the Streetball to Pro UK tour, I think that would be great. With and having the legends in there and going to all these schools, and part of your tour is WCBT. I think that is fantastic, and I think that is something I can push out to the media. Really sort of that is something we've not had in the UK. You were saying about And One. I watched the documentary a couple of times. My sons, they've always had and Ones. He used to get all the T-shirts and everything else. So that is a big part of his history, big part of his legacy. All my boys, and that's why they got into basketball. So to see that, and we had a group back in the day called Streetball.co.uk, and they mirrored their philosophy on what you guys are doing, and what, and it was good. And that they did the mixtapes and everything else, and they were fantastic. And actually, one of the guys, I don't know if you saw, one of the guys who played on the streetball.co.uk, were they there last year? They did the basketball sort of spinning ball,
Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. It was those guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was on streetball.co.uk, Taryn. So, and that was a big part of my son's legacy. But the And One, that is that. I don't think that, I mentioned this actually before, that I can put into words what it means to have you guys in the UK. I don't think we will understand it until the years gone by. We'll look back and go, damn, we had the And One guy just balling on into the UK. We're not going to realise it until years later on.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like the tournament that I sort of mentioned earlier, WIC World Invitational Club Basketball Tournament. When it went on, it was, we got these guys coming. But we look back at it now, and that was back in the 70s and 80s. We go, well, why can't we do that now? Why aren't we doing that now? Because WCBT is the only international tournament in the UK that's been done since that one. Okay. No other event in the UK does an international event apart from WCBT, where we've got teams from around the world, which is hopefully, there's lots of events going on, but hopefully someone's going to look at it and go, yeah, we want to do what they're doing, and we want to do what you guys do. So once we can expand it, start going around to the schools and going around to different areas, that is hopefully should be the blueprint for other people to follow. That's right. What I want to see. Because
we done signed UK. Y'all have seen it first on Streetball to Pro. We have Streetball to Pro have signed our first deal, if you want to say, with the WCBT moving forward. It's exciting for me because we've been talking and doing things for years. Like I said, I held a tournament over here, and we was looking at how to expand. And so now to know that all of those who's following us, and just to know that the streetball community have a platform, a whole country that's supporting the movement. I mean? They can go to schools. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be able to help bring you all to the schools and do camps and do 3-on-3s and do the 5-on-5. So everything that Eric is building out there, we will be supporting it. And so that's fun, and great for me and all our listeners, because, like I said, these guys entrusted me. You know what I mean? So Baller Harlot trusted me to be his agent and help him to really, get his career back after like doing what he loves to do. And just like the rest of these guys, not like they needed me. I mean, they already built the name. It's the fact that come back together and come as a unit and what's going to be the best move for them and their family. And they entrusted me. And so to us to do this today, because we hadn't spoke on this. I didn't know what you was doing with the WCB. You know what I mean? Last Dance. And I'm like, man, that's going to be one of my questions. You know what I mean? I want to know. Right. And so to know that now we are like officially a part of history of what you're doing and vice versa. We're together. You know what I mean? Like we say, a legacy. Because that was my biggest thing. I want to leave a legacy. I want something to keep going, even when I'm gone. And this right here is going to create a bridge like no other. You know what I mean? That's Streetball to Pro, because it gives them that idea they still showcase their talents on the Streetball world, but at the same time, they have the opportunity to get seen and to play against pros. There's a lot of opportunities. You got Denmark, you got other countries that are over there that are looking for players who just come in and play games. So there's real opportunities with this relationship. So I can only imagine what 25 is going to look like with the Streetball to Pro UK tour. You know what I mean? It's going to be
and that's where we sort of just not draw the line on this one. As I said, the last dance in this particular format, but there's going to be a new dance. There's going to be a new dance in 2025.
Ooh, we only can imagine, man. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is big, and I'm thankful. You know what I mean? Like I said, for the opportunity to build with you, because that was my whole aim when I came over here. It's like, okay, let me find out what's going on. Let me, I came up to you and just started to build, and let's see what's going on and how can we support one another. And that was an ongoing relationship. We just kept building throughout the years from afar. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when I had Baller Holiday, I was like, this is the perfect place, just to showcase this, and not knowing, round two is sort of like, honestly, it's the promo tour. Hey, look, Baller, it's perfect. We're calling it the promo tour.
The promo tour.
So that's the name. It's the Legends promo tour. That's what we call it. You know what I mean? So this is going to be cool, because we're doing it in the U.S. and in between that, we do got to come to UK. And then we finish in Memphis, our last little stop. And in that, after that, we're expected to have cities lined up. You know what I mean? We got somebody that's working with us to do like 40 cities and things like that. But we're expecting we're going to get a lot of interest, especially with announcing this. We have a whole country, you know what I mean, that we get to help organize and build. You know what I mean? So thank you, Eric.
Thank you guys. No, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Looking forward to coming back, Eric, this summer. This one. Yeah, it's gonna be live, man. We're definitely looking forward to coming back.
I'm looking forward to welcoming you back. And all I can do is apologize. I don't think I spend enough time with people, because I really wanted to sit down and spend some proper time with you, but it's just like it's constant, So, but this year I'm going to make sure I spend some quality time. We'll go out for a drink or something in the evening and just chill and relax and and spend just make it a bit more fun for
right.
And hopefully it's cooler. Hopefully it's proper. I want it to be a proper English summer with rain and wind. None of this 40-degree sunshine in September. I don't want none of that again. I'm not doing that again.
I know, right?
Oh man. Oh.
Let me see. It is what, 11? Oh no, it's not. What time is it your time? I know it's a difference.
My time is 10:15.
Yes. And we want to thank you, like I said, for those who's watching, y'all see how we have to orchestrate different times and try to make it work, because y'all know, those who watch us, we normally be on like 8, 9, 10 o'clock, but that's
right.
That doesn't work in UK. So that's
my bedtime.
I know, right? That's what we appreciate about our partners in other countries that are willing to work around schedules so we can help support one another. And that's another thing we're trying to show too, is show the unity of what it looked like. That's something that you mentioned instead, because we see a lot of people competing and talking and trying to tear down the next person.
Yeah.
We're showing you what it looks like if you come together and you build together. You know what I mean? And so this is what it is, Streetball to Pro, UBTC. And that it started with the Admirals, all of us. You know, the Admirals just the vehicle, that's the team. The platforms is the WCB2 and the Streetball to Pro. We're coming together to use our platforms to pipeline or streamline players and give them opportunities on both sides. So what I want y'all to understand, it's not just like, okay, well, Streetball. No, there's players, there's pro players and streetballers that's in UK that need help. So if y'all go back and check out our very first intro, the mix that Eric is talking about that we did, our pilot clips, and shout out to our folks out there in London, Local Hoops, that put that together for us. Well, the concept was we came out and we did a competition. You know what I mean? In the competition, we invited, I think London Hoops brought us like 5 players or something like that from that was looking for opportunity out of UK. We had a player that we brought from the US that won a competition or a tournament prize that we Boy Scout that we covered. And then we had another shout out to Tony. They played in your tournament. Tony.
Oh, Las Vegas, Tony?
Yes.
Tony Eccles.
Yes, Tony Eccles. So shout out to him. So that's where we got Big Man from. That's where we got the Brown. You know what I mean? So he sent us a big, and he had sent some more people out, but he showed up. So what we did was we did a tryout, and we said, hey, that was the first time they got to all played together, and they played with Ballaholic. And so the concept is, think about going to overseas tryout. You don't know who you're playing with, and you got to perform. So everything we sort of set up, we were simulating some things for those who really want to go overseas, right? And so we put them in a scenario like we all stayed in the same spot, you know what I mean? We held each other down, traveled together in a sense. And then at the end, it was a thing said, okay, who based off of not just your skill sets and points, coachability, your attitude, your just everything, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm saying, Ballaholic, this is your teammate, and you're going on tour with him, right?
Pretty much,
you know what I mean? You're going on tour, and on this tour that you're going with on him at this level, we're saying that you're a free agent, and we can either one or two help you with a job, or you're going to still stay with us and get paid because that's what we do. We do this, in a sense, for a living. So we're going to give you a stipend. So that means that's a job. You got to perform at a level, either way it go. And if you don't fit our formula, we're not putting our name on you. So our name is now, it's bad with whoever we're working with. So for those who are understanding the concept, and this is what we did, out there, JB, he won that competition or that, that we was there. Now, like I said, overall points, no, he wasn't the one to put up all the buckets. He wasn't the one that was flashy. He did everything that was needed. You know what I mean?
He did everything that was needed. And he pushed himself too. He pushed himself to his max, to his own limit, for sure.
And then the thing was, we told him what we expected. We said, okay, we're going to Japan. And this is the thing, like we told him before we all started, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give you an opportunity. And if you make it past this, you make it to the next round. And then from there, we're going to help you. You know what I mean? And so sure enough, we said, you need to lose weight. You need to get in shape. You need to work on this and that. We told him, hey, you're invited to Japan. He showed up to Japan. We was like, yo, Jay, you know what I mean?
In shape.
Yes.
In shape.
And from that trip, and shout out to Jared. And that's what we're saying. We had Jared on the trip. Everything was all set up so we can all see what's going on because we have a team in Thailand. We're building a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got to find the right players over there. So JB was in a process. He made it through the first round, made it through the second round. And now this is beyond us because we said we can just put you on the platform because that's what we do. Well, Jared was that last person that he had to impress. You know what I mean? Because he saw him at one time in UK what he looked like. But then when he
Right.
saw him again, when he played with him, it was enough where he said, "Yep, this is what I want for my brand." So giving y'all the idea, basically what we're doing, the mentor stuff. So that's why he's
Yeah.
mentioned one of our young boys, Nate the Great, amazing player. When y'all see him, y'all gonna love him. He's great. You know what I mean? Attitude. It's now we start trying to be a professional. There's certain things that you just have to do. You got to tell. It's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with your personality, but you just have to understand how and when. You know what I mean? Especially in just conducting business, put it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where Ballaholic is the big brother. You know what I mean? Let me mentor, let me do these things. They have a great relationship. And so the program is so much bigger than just basketball. You know what I mean? We're teaching them
Yeah.
business. We're teaching them, and Ballaholic can tell you, like, I mentor him on the stuff that I know. So from the business side, branding and this back end, this is stuff that I'm pretty sure when they was on tour, they wasn't given these kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let me teach you how to do this and that because I want to make sure you get paid. Yes, we're gonna pay you, but I need you to build your own brand because you're your own person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So back
Yeah. And they weren't doing nothing like that on tour. It was just basketball, cameras. I mean, they were going out, doing stuff with the kids and stuff, but it was more so. And it's crazy because I was outside looking in. I just made it a big name for myself on that stage. And there was only a few of us that did that. But even the ones who did that, they're still doing the same thing. They're still doing the same thing that the other N1 players are doing. You know what I mean? Like from clothing branding to, doing trainings and camps for kids. You know what I mean? That's like the biggest thing that now the street ball players have because, again, we had no other outlet but street ball. Like we could go play other worlds, and then everywhere else was thinking, street ball was overrated. It's not real basketball. We had a bad name, but people didn't know, like, yo, a lot of the basketball is created off of street ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
a lot of
the sorry to interrupt, Colin, but that whole Nike advert that they did was based on what you guys at And One did. Nike said, damn, you see what these guys are doing, and they did the advert with the the guys doing the that one.
Because Nike,
the Nike one, Nike looked at it,
they knew
look at And
that
One.
night.
Yeah, and
Nike knew they knew they had their hands full for sure. They were competing with like, we have to turn it up, and that's crazy. And I think that's when A1 really was starting to like they were at one point beating Nike at one point. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's it's crazy. It's totally crazy. And then there's so much more that came with that. You know what I mean? It goes all the way back from A1 to everyone like the street ball in New York, where it started all. You know what I mean? And just giving guys freedom and outlet with what street ball really means. You know what I mean? Having the freedom to do what you didn't want to do in college or what you're used to running plays so much. Now you're on the court, you can really show your talent, your real talent. Now it can be free and it's more entertaining that way. You know what I mean? And it is, a lot of people say it's not real basketball. Street ball is real basketball. It's just a different rhythm. And a lot of people don't understand that. And this is, again, for me, being a basketball player, but I know how to play street ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can turn it on. So it's like, and coach knows this. Somebody come do a move on me, I could come down and be flashy and do something. But that's something I've never done, but I can do it. You know what I mean? Just being on tour with these N1 guys, just watching them, how they do it. It's like, man, they can turn it on and turn it off because everyone's like, oh, y'all all street ball. But it's like, no, they're not. Now they're going out to play real hoopers. And now they're seeing like, oh, these N1 dudes really are hoopers. They're not really just, you know what I mean? So a lot of people get that mixed up too.
Yeah, you've got to know the fundamentals before you can do the street ball, really, can't you? So you can't. Yeah. But so that Nike looked at you guys and said, we're not having that. We're not having that. So. But I think people have that same mentality now with 3-on-3 basketball as well. They say, well, 3-on-3 isn't basketball, but it's in the Olympics now, so things are changing. So that's why, I'm looking to do it. We've got a very big 3-on-3 movement in the UK at the moment. Probably, I'm not sure if it's the same in the US, but, it's massive out here, getting so big. So that is something else I'm going to sort of go into in the future as well.
Right. And no, go ahead, Eric. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. That's all done.
I'm saying what you said with the 3-on-3 tournaments, and also the 1v1 tournaments are also starting to become popular as well too. That's something like that going to wind up being in the Olympics as well too. I see that coming along. It's a lot of that stuff is starting to happen. Like it's starting to see like it's packed just for 1-on-1. You know what I mean? You got 1,000 people for a 1-on-1. So yeah,
I think one of the guys you played in your team won a one-on-one tournament.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he sure did. Yeah. Oh gosh, he was.
Can't think of his name, but yeah.
It's the little guard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I just know he had an attitude problem. That's all I can think of. That's all I can say. He had an attitude problem. He thought he was better than what he was.
He could go. It's talent. I mean, that's the thing. Like, right? We're saying that, maybe this profession, because you are a professional, maybe this overseas in hardwood is not the profession you might want to be in. You know what I mean? Right. That may not fit your game because you do have game, but you got to be coachable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once again, that's the beauty of what we do is now we find out, and that's all of us, as they would say, OG, we gonna let you know what it is. You know what I mean? And say, hey, this is what it is, because you're trying to get where we are, or you know what I mean, and stay where we are. Because you can be a pro, but it's all about staying power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that is some of those things that you look at it and with some of these guys, and that's what it was. Like for me, that's the great part about our relationship. I'm the coach, he's the player. So you get both sides as a player. That from a coach, I can tell you, hey, as a player, because that's what we, as a coach, we're teaching on the team. We know the team is the strongest. The team, they got to be together. You know what I mean? A coach can't hold them. We can say so much stuff, but until the team buy in and really hold each other and push each other, and then now we're going to go to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? And so he's that guy that he get to see in all the bets. We get to look and say, you know what I mean? Are they ready? You know what I mean? Or maybe they need to go over here and there. And so it wasn't a surprise to see that he won it, because he's really that good. He's good. You know what I mean? He's a hell of a player. It reminds us. So when you see Nate the Great, they're going to be similar, right? Nate the Great is a flashy. He can go. He's a problem. But the difference is he's coachable.
Yeah.
So Nate will sit there and he'll come, hey coach, what's up? He'll go to Big Bro, what's up? You know what I mean? He wants to get better, and he understands that's going to be the difference. But he's going to be that problem y'all see and say, he's coaching.
I look forward to seeing him. In his game. So
we're going to let you get you some rest, my man, before we get off. And the tournament is already locked down, so 8 teams is already in. So we will be coming out with marketing material with that to let everybody know that the Legends Tour promo tour is coming. And now, because we got this back end, it really makes more sense, and it's encouraging that we can really push the narrative to say, hey, you know what I mean? The Last Dance is just the last format. This promo is promoting what's to come. You know what I mean? And we're a part of that.
And I'll be in touch with Sarah soon of Active Hastings, who's called. She's going to coordinate another meeting with me, yourself, and Nicole, and possibly Jarek, where we're going to schedule all the schools and the visits and everything else around the area, because it's I think you'll be meeting the pupils in the school, much like you did in Japan, meeting the pupils as well as basketball. The kids will come out and see you and be a part of that journey, and the local mayor's going to come out and things like that. So it's going to be a whole event. It's going to be a festival type thing, not just the basketball. We're going to really leave a mark on people, then go on to the next step. Make a big one better next year.
So y'all heard it. Y'all will get to see it. We will be recording it. I'm going live. Check out WCBT and man, follow, support. Like I said, this is not the end of the movement. It's just the growth. You know what I mean? And that's what happens, right? it started one way, but now it's grown to a point that it got to expand its wings. And so that's what we're expanding. Streetball the Pro is now officially in UK with Eric. So y'all will see a lot of the little promotions and things like that to show what we're doing. But man, we're excited. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
We look forward to
Eric.
seeing you in September.
September.
You certainly will do. You certainly will. I look forward to it. I look forward to it, and yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep now, and tomorrow I'm gonna be up and ready to go at them, and get that marketing out there and let people know what we're doing. You know, that's,
yes, sir.
You know, we're gonna leave our mark this year. You know, starting in UK, then it's gonna be on Washington, and in Barcelona, Lithuania, wherever we want it to be.
So y'all heard it first on here. That was breaking news for all of us. And like I said, this was not planned, but this is the relationship which we have built and been talking. And so it's official. UK, be ready. We will be there for the promo tour, and it's only going to get bigger. So Streetball World, if y'all seeing this, tap in, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you all in UK, and UK, tap in with us as well, because like I said, we're going to be partnering with Eric to help run these things with him, so to orchestrate these things. So it's going to be so massive in all these places. One man can't do it, two men can't do it. We're going to have a whole team. So this is what we're just letting y'all know. This is what's coming, and as things roll out. And New York, shout out, they're also a part of this whole movement that we're doing. The Court Kings, mad love to them, in Thailand. So we do have connections, Japan, Thailand, UK. So we are an international brand because we have international relationships. So until next time, Streetball the Pro, man, is the ambassador. Tomorrow, I think we'll be back tomorrow. All right, thank you.
All right, Coach. All right, Eric.
Okay.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.